It is a very heavy thing when you start to feel like someone you love is slowly walking out of your life. It is a moment that hurts your heart deeply. Usually, your heart notices these changes long before your mind is ready to admit them. You might notice that the text messages you get feel different than they used to. The way you talk to each other does not feel the same. The very air between you feels heavy and cold. You keep telling yourself that everything is okay and that you are just imagining things. But deep down, you know something is wrong. You cannot ignore that quiet voice inside you anymore. Many people think that when someone leaves, they will say a clear and final goodbye. But that is almost never how it happens in real life. Most of the time, people leave with their hearts long before they ever pack a bag or walk out the door. The work they put into the relationship gets smaller and smaller. The warmth they once showed you becomes thin and weak. The bridge between you starts to feel like a one-way street where you are doing all the walking. Because this happens so slowly, many of us spend months or even years holding on to a version of a person that does not even exist anymore. I am here with you today to walk through this together as a friend. We are going to talk about the 3 biggest signs that show up when someone no longer wants to be part of your story. These signs are very hard to see and even harder to accept. But once you understand them, you can stop blaming yourself for things you did not do. You can stop running after people who are trying to pull away, and you can start seeing the truth clearly. This will help you stop feeling so confused and lost. Before we go any further, I would love for you to think about where you are today. It is wonderful to know that there are so many people from different towns and different parts of the world who are here to support one another in this kind group. The first big sign that someone is moving away from you is that they stop caring about how their actions make you feel. This is usually where the big change starts to happen. It is often the hardest thing to believe because it does not happen in a big explosion. It happens little by little, like a slow leak in a tire. When someone truly loves having you in their life, your feelings matter to them more than almost anything else. It is natural for them to care. They care if they accidentally hurt your feelings. They care if something they said made you feel sad or small. Even when you are having an argument or a disagreement, they still try to be careful with your heart. They protect the connection because they are scared of losing you. This does not mean they are perfect people who never make mistakes. It just means that keeping you happy and making sure you feel safe is a top priority for them. Now, I want you to look at what happens when someone starts to check out of the relationship emotionally. Suddenly, your feelings are not important to them anymore. In fact, your feelings start to feel like a problem or a chore to them. They stop explaining why they did things. They stop trying to make you feel better when you are worried. They stop caring if what they do leaves you feeling mixed up, hurt, or full of fear. Conversations that used to end with a hug or a sweet word of understanding now end with a cold wall of distance. You might ask a question and get a short, mean answer or no answer at all. This is the point where many kind people start to blame themselves. They think maybe I am asking for too much. They think they are being too needy or wanting too much attention. They think they are the problem for wanting to talk or wanting to know what is going on. But I want to tell you something very important. Wanting basic kindness and care from someone who says they love you is never asking for too much. It is the very foundation of being together. When someone really wants you around, they make you feel safe in your heart. When they are slowly leaving, they leave you feeling confused. That confusion is like a big red light. It is the first warning that the bridge is no longer being held up by 2 people. What makes this so painful is that the person might still be right there in front of you. They might still answer the phone or sit on the couch with you. On the outside, it looks like the relationship is still there. That is why people stay in these situations for so long. They are looking at the person's body, but they are not looking at the person's effort. Someone can be in the same room as you, but be 1,000 miles away in their heart. They can send you a text message without actually caring about what you have to say. They can go to dinner with you and not feel any connection at all. When this happens, you start to see small changes that are hard to put into words. You spend your nights replaying what they said over and over. You wonder why a simple talk leaves you feeling empty and alone instead of happy. You start to notice that you are the only one carrying the heavy bags of the relationship. It starts to feel like a job that you have to do all by yourself just to keep it from falling apart. Please remember this one thing that many people forget. People protect the things they truly care about. If someone loves a garden, they pull the weeds. If they love a car, they keep it clean. If they love a friendship, they protect it. If they love you, they protect the way you feel. So when someone shows you again and again that they do not care if they hurt you, believe their actions. Do not listen to their pretty words or their empty promises. Do not listen to the excuses they give. Look at the pattern of how they treat you. Sometimes the loudest sign that someone is done is not what they say with their mouth. It is the cold way they act when they know they are breaking your heart. The second big sign appears when the other person stops putting in the work to keep your bond alive. Every good relationship in this world, whether it is a best friend or a partner, lives because two people keep choosing each other every single day. Feelings might be what starts the fire, but hard work and effort are what keep the fire burning as the years go by. At first, you might see small changes. Their texts get shorter. They don't use emojis or kind words as much. The talks you have feel dry and boring. They start to cancel plans more often, or they stop making plans at all. That excited feeling they used to have when they saw you just disappears. You start to notice a very sad thing. You are always the one who sends the first text. You are the one who asks how their day was. You are the one trying to find something to talk about. You are the one trying to set up a time to hang out. Without you even realizing it, the whole relationship has become a heavy weight that only you are carrying. This is where many people get stuck. They have such good hearts that they make excuses for the other person. They say, "Oh, they are just very busy at work," or "they are going through a lot of stress right now." They tell themselves that things will get better next week or next month. And sometimes that is true. Life can be very hard, but there is a huge difference between someone who is just having a bad time and someone who has stopped caring about the connection. A person who cares will still try to find a way to stay close to you even when life is crazy. They will send a quick note or give you a fast hug to let you know you still matter. The other person just stops trying altogether. You need to see that difference. A person who truly wants you in their life might not have all the time in the world, but they will always make sure you know you are loved. Their effort might change because they are tired, but their desire to be with you will not. This sign is very dangerous because it is so quiet. Many people spend months telling themselves everything is fine because there was no big fight. There was no screaming match or a formal breakup. Because there is no big ending, they keep hoping. They think if they just try a little harder, or love a little more, or talk a little better, things will go back to the way they were in the beginning. But the truth is that a relationship cannot live on only one person's heart. You cannot carry a bridge by yourself. At some point, you have to stop listening to what they say and start looking at what they do every day. Someone who wants you will find a way. They might be stressed or busy, but you will still feel them reaching for your hand under all that noise. When someone is done, the opposite happens. Being with you starts to feel like a chore to them instead of a joy. Talking feels like a task they have to finish. Spending time together feels like something they can skip. You slowly become the only person trying to keep the ship from sinking. It is a very sad moment when you realize that if you stopped calling and stopped texting, the relationship would just vanish. It wouldn't end with a bang. It would just fade away because you were the only one holding it up. It didn't end because of a lie or a fight, but because the other person stopped fighting for you a long time ago. The relationship became a duty that you performed while the other person just sat back and watched. You became the one holding the rope while they walked away from it inch by inch. This realization can break your heart in ways that are difficult to describe. You see that your love and your loyalty were being given to someone who was no longer matching it. You realize that you were loving someone harder than they were loving you back, and that imbalance created a deep sadness inside you that grew bigger every day. The third sign is when they stop talking about a future that includes you. This is one of the clearest ways to know someone is pulling their heart away. The future is where we put the things we want to keep. When someone loves you deeply, they naturally think about you being there for the things that haven't happened yet. They talk about what you will do next summer. They talk about the trips you will take or the goals you will reach together. They don't even have to try to do this. It just happens because you are part of their world. I want you to listen to the words they use. People who want you in their life use words like we, us, and our. They talk about things happening next month or next year, and they just assume you will be right there by their side. But when someone starts to pull away, those words start to change. The future starts to sound very fuzzy and unclear. Plans become vague. They stop talking about what is coming next. Instead of building a life with you, they start building a life that only has room for them. This change is very sneaky, and many people miss it. They stay focused on the fact that the person is still there today. So they don't notice that the person has stopped talking about tomorrow. But the fact that they don't mention a future with you tells a very big story. When someone stops seeing you in their future, it usually means they have already left you in their mind. This shift changes everything, even if no one talks about it out loud. It is very sad because we often don't notice it until it is too late. We listen to the occasional text or see them once a week, and we tell ourselves everything is still okay. But all that time, the other person has stopped building a house for the two of you. Think about how a healthy relationship grows. It is like a tree. It wants to get bigger. People make plans. They talk about the things they want to see and do. They talk about big events that are months away. This feels easy and fun because when you want someone, your mind makes a space for them in your tomorrow. When that stops, something very big has changed. The conversation stops moving forward and stays stuck in the right now. You might notice that if you bring up a plan for next month, they avoid the topic or say they aren't sure yet. You feel a sense of hesitation instead of excitement. You feel distance instead of looking forward to things. People almost never sit you down and say, I don't see you in my future anymore. They just show it by not making plans. They stop building. They stop dreaming with you. And when someone stops inviting you into their tomorrow, it usually means they have already started living a life that does not have you in it. They have mentally moved on even though their body is still near you. They have closed the door in their heart, even though they have not said the words out loud. This creates a painful situation where you are still living in the relationship while they are already planning their exit. There is something I really want you to hear before we finish. Seeing one of these signs for a few days does not mean everything is over. People have hard weeks. They get overwhelmed by their jobs or their families. Sometimes life just gets very noisy and people get distracted for a little while. You should never judge your whole relationship based on one bad day or 1 week where things felt a little cold. What you need to look for is the pattern. A healthy relationship can handle a little bit of distance because the foundation is strong. The care is still there deep down. Both people still want to find their way back to each other because losing the connection would be too painful to bear. But emotional withdrawal is different. It is not a short break. It is a slow disappearing act. It is a loss of care, effort, and investment that keeps going and going. The relationship starts to live only on your hope. It lives on your patience and your willingness to keep trying even when you are tired. While you are working hard, the other person gets comfortable just taking and not giving anything back. This is why so many good people end up feeling completely exhausted. They are trying to fix something that the other person is not even holding on to anymore. They keep giving more love and more chances, hoping that the other person will wake up and be who they used to be. But the truth is, while it takes two people to start a relationship, it also takes two people to keep it alive. You cannot do it alone forever. Effort is the big difference between a love that stays and a love that fades away. The hardest thing you will ever have to do is accept that you cannot force someone to love you. You cannot earn love by suffering or by being the most patient person in the world. Many people stay trapped for years because they believe that if they are just good enough, the other person will change back. This thought keeps them stuck in a place of pain. They stop looking at the person in front of them and only look at the person they remember from the past. You are not sad about the relationship you have right now. You are sad about the one you used to have. You are sad about the future you wanted and the person you thought would be there. Healing begins when you look at the truth. When you stop chasing someone who is walking away, you finally have the space to see clearly. You stop thinking you are not enough just because they stop trying. You begin to see that your value does not change just because someone else stopped seeing it. You are still a wonderful and valuable person. Your worth does not depend on someone else choosing you every day. As we close our time together today, please hold this thought close to your heart. When someone truly wants you in their life, you will not have to spend every single day wondering if you matter to them. You will not have to spend your time trying to figure out mixed signals or wondering where you stand. You will not have to carry the whole relationship on your own back. Real relationships are not perfect, and they have hard times, but they always have mutual effort. Both people want to be there. The moment you see that someone has stopped caring about your feelings, stopped putting in the work, and stopped seeing you in their future, you must listen to what their actions are telling you. You don't have to run away immediately, but you should stop arguing with the truth. One of the biggest mistakes we make is trying to hold on to someone who has already let go. We keep looking for answers from someone who has stopped being honest. We keep looking for old love in a heart that has changed, and in that process, we lose ourselves. If you see these signs, do not panic, but do not look away either. Treat yourself with enough respect to see the truth. The right people for you will not be perfect, but they will never make you feel like you are unwanted for loving them with all your heart. You deserve someone who fights for you the same way you fight for them. You deserve someone who sees your worth and holds on to it tightly. You deserve a love that does not make you question your value or wonder if you are doing something wrong just because you want to feel close to someone. These 3 signs are not meant to scare you, but to open your eyes. They are meant to give you permission to stop carrying a relationship that only one person is holding. They are meant to remind you that love should be a shared journey, not a lonely road where you walk by yourself, hoping someone will catch up. When you finally accept that someone has walked away, you make room for the people who will stay. You make room for the love that will meet you halfway and hold you with the same strength you offer. You are not alone, and you are worthy of a love that stays and tries just as hard as you.